I'm Chef Mike, one of the three Amigo chefs, and today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite things, sandwiches, and the history of the sandwich. Well, we're going to start out and go through the history of the sandwich, and of course, we all know that's the United States, the Great Lakes. And the history of sandwich, we are going to really begin, we have to go actually across the old pond to, where else? England, where back in the 18th century, long time ago, the 4th Earl of Sandwich, John Montague, was a player, card player, gambler, smoker, drinker, I'm sure. Well, these men would play cards late at night, and of course you play cards, what? You get hungry. So if you've ever played cribbage, that was his favorite game. It has those little tiny pegs, and you know, if you have sticky hands, the food on your hands, not good. So he demanded one night, he wanted his meat wrapped some way, so he demanded to his cook, he wants his meat wrapped up in bread. So hence the invention of the sandwich. So right here in England, and it took about 200 years then for the sandwich to come across the U.S. We were start out here in Philly. 1914, Hog Island, part of Philly, where the men who built ships were called hoggies, and that morphed into what? The hoagie. And then once again it jumped up the coast to New Bedford, Mass. Once again, what are they doing? Building more boats. So these boatmen in New Bedford were responsible for grinding these big iron pegs on the hulls flat, and they were known as grinders. These men grinding the pegs. So once again, you're hungry, building ships, what do you want? Big sandwich, hence the grinder. So then all of a sudden, it jumps from New England, wraps around Florida, comes into the New Orleans area. Times are tough down there always. So these poor folks there would go out and drink and stuff, and on some day of the week, a restaurant there would have the 5-cent beer. Who wouldn't like the 5-cent beer? But along with that beer, you also got a free sandwich. So these men who would frequent the bars for these free sandwiches were known then simply as poor boys, hence the poor boy sandwich. Then it went back up the coast to where? Paterson, New Jersey. More immigrants, more people eating sandwiches, loving them. Well, this old man, Dominic Conti, and he was a man who was there in 1927 when they raised up the Holland 1. It was the first experimental submarine, which quickly sank. When they raised it up, he's looking across the bay, seeing this mammoth hull above him, and he had a flashback to his grandpappy, who was a famous sandwich guy from way back, built big sandwiches, and he remembered, I wish I had one of Grandpa's sandwiches as big as a submarine. The submarine sandwich. There we go. Then, 1930, we come all the way, of course, where? To the West Coast. There was a guy named Dagwood Bumstead, who was in the comic strip Blondie. Well, as you know, he didn't get along really well with his wife. He was a typical man, couldn't make anything in the kitchen. The only thing his wife trusted him to make was what? A sandwich. So he made a multi-level, big, stupid, fat sandwich, and everyone loved it. Well, we're here, where? Cincinnati, Ohio. Everything starts in the East Coast or West Coast, eventually comes to Cincinnati here. Live from Cincinnati, we're at JTM, the home of the original steak hoagie. Thank you very much.